Hi everybody, Paula here from Craftables again, and I'm just coming to share with you my interactive card that we did this week from class. So this is it here. So this one opens up like that. So this folds in and out of that pocket, and then this folds back that way to show you a little bit of writing on the inside there. So that folds down and that folds back in the pocket. Okay, so let's get started. Now, before I start, I just want to let you know that you can purchase the instructions. So the full color photo written instructions with all the measurements on from our website in craftables.co.nz, and they are $5, and it's an instant download. Okay, so this is the beginning of our card here. So I've cut it down and I've done the scoring on there. So this is how our card opens. So it opens that way there with this flap down there. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and I've cut out a couple of pieces of pattern paper to go on the inside of my card there. So I'm just going to pop those down in the middle. So I've ended up cutting 3 of the same size. And so 2 will go in the middle of my card here. And one's going to go on the front. But before I put the one on the front on, I want to put a little bit of lace on there. So that it's not, so we can fold it over the edges before it goes on the card. So that's the inside there done. So this is the front of my card here. So I've gone and cut another piece out of there, and I want to pop a little bit of ribbon down this side here. So I just put a little bit of tape along there. So you could put glue down if you wanted to. And I'm just going to stick my bit of ribbon, my bit of lace, sorry, onto that bit of tape there. And then I'm just going to take the backing off the tape here and fold that over to the back. So it gives us a nice flat edge there. So the same on this side. Fold that over. Alright, so now I can pop this piece onto the front of my card. Oops, didn't stick down very well. Try that one again. There we go. So I've covered over this little bit of tape, so I'm just going to put a little bit more along this edge here just to make sure it super sticks down along here as well. Because the last thing we need is a card flopping open in the wrong places. Right. There we go, and the last one there. So now I can pop this down to the front of my card. So I want the lace out to the left here. So just pop that in the center, and we'll come back and we'll finish decorating that bit later. Alright, so this middle piece here, so that I'm going to go ahead and show you this little piece, this little booklet in the middle there. So this is the piece I'm doing now. So I've cut it to the right size and I've scored on all the score lines. And I'm just going to pop a piece of tape down the middle of between one of these score lines here. So if you can see the score lines, just one of these is going to have some tape on. So I'm just going to pop some tape right in the center between the score lines. I'm going to take that tape off, and then that middle score line there, I'm just going to fold that in half so that they tape together. So now I have this little spine. So if I open that back up, you'll see what I mean. There you go. So this is the bit that I've taped together, this way. And now we just have like a little book spine there, like that. So I'll just get my bone folder and I'm just going to score that down a wee bit better. Right, so now I'm going to just pop this way here. Now we want this opening the wrong way. So this is going to open from the left. So this is the left side of your card, and it's going to open from that left. So we want to put a little bit of tape down that tab down there. So where's my tape? Here it is. I'll just grab some of that. And I'm just going to pop some tape down that little tab there. So make sure that tab is on the left and that your card is opening on the left there. So the opening is on the left, tab is on the left there with a bit of tape on. Flip that whole piece over so that my tape is now on the bottom, and we're going to pop that onto that score line there. Okay, so see, bring a close up of that. So I've got that up against my middle score line of my card. So now we're just going to fold that back now. So this is still opening from the left. Okay, so now if I close that down, you can see that this flap here, I can't see it very well, that flap there is now lined up against that score line. So the flap will be right up against that score line so that when I fold this backwards, nothing's going to hinder it to fold it backwards. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of tape right at the very, very top up here and at the very, very bottom, because we want to make this into a pocket. So I'm just going to take the tape off the top and the bottom there, and I'm going to fold that over and just burnish that down so it's nice and stuck down. So that little tab that we had on that little book spine that we had there now is underneath this pocket, so that when we open it up it can fold right out. And then when we close our card up, it folds down into that pocket and then folds back out. Okay, right, so I just want to cover this now, so I'm going to pop on a piece of pattern paper that I want on the front there, just to cover that up. Did that way up, there we go. Okay, so now we have this inside piece and this outside piece. So this piece here I wanted to put a sentiment on, so I've just gone ahead and cut it down a little bit smaller than that piece, and I've stamped a stamp on there, and I'm just going to pop that onto the front. So remember, do your stamping before you pop it down, because you might have a few lumps and bumps underneath and it won't stamp straight. Okay, so that opens out. Now what I've done on the inside here is I've cut out some flowers and I've just put them on, and then I've just drawn some black lines on there just for where I can write my message to somebody on there. So you don't have to do the lines on there if you don't want to. If you do, you can pencil line them in first and then go over them. I've just used my ruler, and to be honest, I've just eyeballed mine. So if you're not feeling confident enough to do that, there's about a ½ inch gap between each line. So I'll just keep going down my paper. Okay. Alright, so now I have cut out some flowers from my paper that I've got there, so I'm going to pop my nice big one on the inside there. So I'm just going to glue that down. Oops. On there, and then I have another little one that I'm just going to pop on there like that, just to give it a bit of colour and pop to it. So just along there. Alright, so that's the inside of my card done now, so I can now close that up, and that's going to fold back into the pocket. So we'll come back to the front of the card now, and I've just cut out this. This was on the side of my paper, so it was only half a flower on the paper as well. So what I've done is I've just cut around the outside of it, and this flat edge I'm just going to pop up against my ribbon there and my lace there, so that even if you've got a flower with only half of it showing, you can still use it. And we're just going to pop it down on there. So it is a little bit bigger than my card, so I'm just going to stick it down, and then I'll go ahead and cut around the outside of it, so it fits a bit nicer to the card. There we go. So I'm just going to cut these little bits here off, just so it's the same size as my card there. So that one there, and this one here. Here we go. Perfect. Awesome. Alright, so I wanted to cover up this edge here so it's not looking so sharp and open there. So I've ended up putting a bit of rickrack on there. So I'm just going to glue a little bit of rickrack down that very center piece there, just to cover up that edge. So I'm just going to stick that down just to cover over that stark edge there. Now I'm just going to let that dry for a moment before I cut the top and bottom off. And then I just did this on my Word program, just on my computer. So I've just done a box and I've coloured it a light pink, and then I've done a writing in there with black, and then I've printed it and cut it out. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut a little fishtail in the end, just to give it a bit of pizzazz to it. There we go. So I'm just going to go and glue that onto the side of my rickrack there. Like that. Now this piece here is a little bit of bling. Now I found this in a $2 shop and it was just off a hair clip. So I've actually just pulled it off the back of the hair clip and I'm just going to glue that right down onto there and just stick it on there. So it just makes it look really, really pretty on there like that. And pretty much that is all we're going to do for that card. So I'm just going to cut these edges off here and one there. And my little button thing is going to fall off when I open my card because it's not sticking down straight away. So just bear with me with that one. So now that's our card. We're just going to open it so that this little pocket folds out and then this folds back on itself like that. And there's your bits and pieces. So if you wanted to, you could put a photo in here if you want. Photo there for someone special overseas if you wanted to send that over. And then that just folds back down into the pocket like that. And my bling stayed on, so even a good bonus. Okay, so that's our card. So if you'd like all the instructions, so it's full colour instructions. I'll just quickly show you my instructions. So these are the instructions. So they come with lots of colour photos and lots of instructions there and all the measurements. And they are up on our website, craftables.co.nz, and they are $5 to download, and they instantly download once the payment has gone through. So I hope you give it a try and let us know how you go. And we always love seeing your stuff. So we've got a Facebook page called Craft Immunities. And if you want to subscribe to that, you can pop up all your bits and pieces that we do, and we love seeing what you guys get up to. So I hope you join me next week for another card, and we'll see you then. Thank you. Bye.